This is a Fox News alert. Late today, a federal judge blocked an Obama administration rule to extend mandatory overtime pay to more than 4 million workers. The rule would have doubled to $47,500, the maximum salary a worker can earn and still be eligible for mandatory overtime pay. It was set to go into effect December 1st. Chief political correspondent Mike Emanuel is at the White House tonight. Mike, what are you hearing about this judgment?
Well, Doug, good evening. What the Department of Labor was saying was essentially pay your employees more than $47,000 a year, or else give them overtime, or else only work them 40 hours a week, or some combination of the three. So that has been put on hold just before this rule was set to take effect. The National Federation of Independent Businesses says at least 44% of small businesses in this country would have been impacted by this rule, so that organization is happy. No immediate reaction from the White House to this breaking news. Doug?
And Mike, President Obama has already made it clear that he is not going anywhere politically after he moves out of the White House. He is already, in his own words, reserving the right to be critical of his successor. But are the president's high-profile intentions counterproductive for a Democratic Party desperately in need of its new leadership?
Well, Doug, it is interesting to note that as the Democrats do a postmortem after the 2016 election looking at what went wrong, a lot of the names we're hearing about moving the party forward are the same names. After massive losses in the 2016 election, President Obama remains one of the few national faces of the Democratic Party. And with plans to stay in Washington after leaving office, it sounds like Mr. Obama wants to be part of the rebuild.
I don't think that there has to be a complete overhaul here. I think that there does have to be better organization, a smarter message.
There's also generational conflict, for example, over who should lead House Democrats in the new Congress. Longtime leader Nancy Pelosi is trying to hang on to power by making calls and offering concessions, while Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan is a younger, fresher face trying to defeat her. Former Howard Dean campaign manager Joe Trippi says Mr. Obama can play a temporary role.
There would be some who would like to see other people emerge and given the space, but the party desperately needs a face to be that bridge, and he's somebody that everybody could rally around.
However, a name and personality as big as a former two-term president could potentially keep younger Democrats from emerging. Press Secretary Josh Earnest called on that next generation to take on the mantle.
There also is a responsibility for that next generation to step up and to assume more responsibility and not just rely on being impressed or inspired by an extraordinary political talent like President Barack Obama.
The Democratic National Committee is also faced with a choice of going forward with Congressman Keith Ellison, the early favorite to be the next DNC chair. But he represents the Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren wing of the party. The other options may be a return to the past, former DNC chair Howard Dean or former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley. A prominent Democrat floated the idea of someone else who might be looking for something to do come mid-January.
Joe Biden is the one person who I think could bring the party together. The progressive wing of the party, the left and center wing of the party, and start giving a cogent message to those working class Democrats who abandoned us.
The vice president's office would not comment on whether the vice president is interested, but again, that would be another big-name Democrat bailing out the party after its bench has been depleted in recent elections. Doug?
Mike Emanuel from the North Lawn. Thank you, Mike.